This series has a name, and here at the start of Act 3, it's about time to tell you it. There's at least one name. And that name is and was and will have been going to be emergent nonsense. We're going to talk about emergence, and we're going to talk about nonsense. And we're going to do both through the medium of both. We can look at some discoveries, some of the most important things that have changed the way we view the world, and we find that they are seemingly coming from nowhere. I think a wonderful example of this is Einstein and relativity. I should say, I think that most great person having a singular idea narratives in the history of science are false. I think some are true. I think generally they're harmful. I think because, we can't all be astronauts, but if we all try and do our best, there will be more astronauts. But if we're all too angry about not being astronauts, then we miss out on the chance to meaningfully contribute to the chance of there being more astronauts. What I'm saying is that it's hard to feel like you're contributing in a system that is dominated by the actions and outcomes caused by a small handful of people. So without indulging too much in great person narrative, let's look at Einstein and relativity and who he should cite. And I'm going to tell a story that may not be true. It may be true. I haven't checked it. When I cite something strongly in this series, I will give a source. But sometimes I will make stuff up. Sometimes I'll misremember stuff. And sometimes, like now, it's basically a lie. It might be true. It's plausible, but in this world I'm describing, Einstein, he doesn't cite any physics as the inspiration for the theory of relativity. Instead, he cites the cubists and the poets of World War One. And maybe the engineers or architects of the time and stretching before. Maybe he cites the newspapers and the recent cafe culture. Maybe he just cites the world outside his window, the zeitgeist, the birdsong. Because he doesn't build his idea out of things that already exist in science. He uses tools and ideas from science, but there's also something new in there. Something that you can't make out of the things that were there before. Relativity is another closing of the loop. It has its own problems. It's not a fully resolved subject, but it quite reasonably and now pretty well provenly closes a whole loop on high gravity situations. Gravity, Newtonian gravity, great. I use it every day. I mean, we all use it every day, but I also personally acquainted with it every day. Fails in really high gravity. And his theory of relativity, in its eventual form, it's really important to remember that when it first comes out, it's probably semi-incoherent. He certainly was talking with others to try and develop it, like developing an idea from seeing that geometrical structural form in one head to being able to put it into words is really, really difficult. Oh, it's the hardest thing I've ever tried to do. Oh. I mean, you're watching it. The point I'm trying to make is that the inspirations for him thinking it through, and then the inspirations for people understanding it, and the inspirations for people getting excited about it and disseminating it, these come at most in part from the world of science and logic and mathematics. Ideas are the thing that inevitably comes out of the sieve of the grand random number generator of human life. And especially those creating and putting out new ideas, even if they're completely unrelated. Dali paints a watch flopping like an egg. And he's not doing that to make some deep point about the exact way in which time is flexible, but God knows it helps to think about it. To see that recognizable and exact shape. It's not just a solid object that he melts. It's a solid object filled with intricate little pieces that work in a very precise way, and if you change them at all, the whole thing will fail. See that whole thing melt like an egg? That's an idea. That is a piece of inspiration that take enough of them, put them together, put them between enough sheafs of paper, and you have a sandwich. A sandwich that helps us make better sense of the world. Einstein also might not have cited anyone at all, including the artists and the thinkers and the random noisemakers, because how could you know where the idea had come from? So although there's probably lots that deserve it here, I'm not going to cite them. Because I don't know I don't know what's going on. This isn't... The reason I talk about this isn't to talk about who deserves credit, but to talk about how ideas come about and why, if you're intrigued, it might be worth sticking with an incoherent mess, because I've got the idea in here and it's not yet in words, and I'm going to try and put it in words, but I'm also going to delve into the abstract and the surreal and the metaphorical and the metaphysical in a way that's quite unstructured. I've tried to play about with names for this. I've given up on it, but you could call it anarcho-journalism, or sort of Zen parables of physics. That looseness in what I'm saying and what I'm mapping out is, if I could get rid of it, I probably would. That's the rigorous theorist in me, but I don't know how to. So I'm leaving it in, and I'm leaving it in because it leaves space to think and imagine and ponder half-formed thoughts. It's almost laying out the half-baked ingredients partway through cooking something. And although it's not the best way to serve you a pie, it's better than just giving you the ingredients on their own. It's better than just telling you the ingredients in a shop. It's better than just saying, make a pie. It's as close as we can get right now to just give you the bits in whatever form. Most people probably didn't get that.